Next, we are moving on to session number 3, which focuses on artificial intelligence. This session will be chaired by Professor Eun-jung Yang from Kyunghee University. Also, the presenters for this sessions include Amnik Singh and Rajan Sharman from the Central University of Himachal Pradesh, So-young Park from Florida Atlantic University, Kwan Hee-han and Eun-jung Yang from Kyunghee University. Please join me in welcoming them.
Welcome to the AI session of the Second World Conference on Smart Tourism. I'm Eun-jung from Kyunghee University. Originally, Professor Liang was scheduled to chair this session, but I'm pleased to step in on his behalf. We have 3 exciting and insightful presentations lined up today, each focusing on different aspects of AI and its applications in tourism and hospitality. Let me introduce our first speakers. Our first presentation is by Amnik Singh and Rajan Sharma from the Central University of Himachal Pradesh. They will be discussing the integration of AI in cultural heritage tours and preservation. Amnik, please start your presentation. While he works on resolving these issues, let's move on to our next presentation. Our next speaker is So-young Park from the Florida Atlantic University. So-young will be presenting on segmenting the audience for anti-orphanage tourism campaigns. So-young, please begin your presentation.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone see my presentation?
Yes.
I will assume, okay, I heard the yes. Good afternoon to everyone in Korea. I am very happy to attend the Second World Conference on Smart Tourism, and I'll be presenting a study titled Segmenting the Audience for Anti-Orphanage Tourism Campaigns. And my name is So-young Park, and I'm assistant professor at Florida Atlantic University. Here are my co-authors. If you like the presentation and the study, I hand the credit to all my co-authors. If you find any fault with the study, I take the blame. So please be kind with us with our study. So I'll start with the idea of social marketing. I'm sure you guys have run into some messaging from the government, NGOs, trying to promote healthy behavior, eat more fruit, exercise. Hello? So back to the social marketing. So the idea of social marketing is applying the traditional marketing approach and strategies to diffuse voluntary behavior change for collective well-being. And I gave examples of like stop smoking, promoting exercise, eating healthier, and so on. So social marketing has been applied in various fields like health, environmental protection, sustainable development, as well as tourism and leisure. And the first step, I'm sure this is also true for marketing, in building a successful social marketing is identifying the audience and segmenting them into smaller groups so that you can build a targeted message. However, this can be a little tricky when you are looking at a very niche tourism, like orphanage tourism, which is our context. There isn't much data on orphanage tourism, right, compared to the mass tourism that we witness. And the idea may not be familiar to many of you who are actually at the presentation as well. So the concept of orphanage tourism is the tourism visiting overseas orphanages, mostly in developing nations, and they may spend time with the children briefly, donate money or goods, or engage in short-term volunteer work. This could be a few days, a week, and some may stay to do a long-term volunteer work, but we are not considering that in the category orphanage tourism here. Even though going abroad, using your money to help out orphanages is in good intentions and good spirits, research has shown that orphanage tourism can be problematic due to various reasons, such as exploitation of children, attachment issues caused by frequent leaving of the adults, unqualified volunteers, since many of them are not vetted prior to interacting with children, resource diversion, and discouragement of family-based care. This is because the resources, the money, the human resources that could go to building that family-based care, like foster care system, actually that resource is going to support the orphanages. So there has been a few anti-orphanage tourism campaigns by NGOs as well as governments, as given here in the examples of Australian government, and on the right side with the eyes, that's the US government. And they have used social media such as Twitter or X now to conduct social marketing. However, the research on the audience of the orphanage tourism has been limited, and that's where our study comes in. Right? So this study conducts audience segmentation for anti-tourism campaigns to improve their reach and impact on specifically Twitter or X. And on the right side or left, whichever side you can see, is the example of a social marketing presence on Twitter. This is by a group called Lumos, and their campaign hashtag helping not helping. And I encourage you to look it up if you're interested. And they have a lot of videos, images, and explanations on why orphanage tourism should not be promoted. And to send out this message, we need to target multiple audiences. First, those who are volunteering and have volunteered, right? And second, who want to volunteer but have not yet, right? So they may have expressed that, oh, I want to go volunteer abroad at orphanages on their social media. And last are the institutions and organizations that promote orphanage tourism products. So how do we do this? Right. So we collected Twitter profiles and 1 year's worth of tweets from any account on Twitter that expressed a positive sentiment toward orphanage volunteering in 2019. So here's an example of a previous Twitter profile looked like. Now it looks different with X, right? And you can see, we can see their name, their handle, their profile information, helping authors write and publish books. And also they write tweets, and these are called timelines. So we collected any tweets that this account has sent out over the past year. And of course, all the data collected were from public accounts. We collected 3,729 unique users and their profile data, as well as 7.6 million tweets from their timeline. And using keyword matching, topic modeling, and geolocation mapping, we're able to extract some demographic, geographic, and psychosocial information on these audiences. So here is the geographic mapping of the users. So they were all over the world, as you can see. About 78% of the users had the location posted on their profile, and we were able to transform them into longitudes and latitudes, about 70% of them, using Google Maps API. And the most frequently appearing country was the US, but I have to mention that this list could be biased since we only looked at the English using tweets. But among the English using demographic, US had the most number of users that expressed interest and showed positive sentiment about orphanage tourism. And we were able to also locate their state. The list on the left is just the pure count. List on the right is per million population. So we try to give you the absolute list as well as the relative list. So we see both Kansas on both lists, Georgia, as well as Oklahoma on both lists. So this was the geographic information that we could extract. And we later looked at the profile information, how they describe themselves in the Twitter profile. And we used topic modeling to extract some information. And based on this exploratory topic modeling, we actually conducted a keyword matching using 735 terms related to the jobs as well as age and gender. So you may notice that we have Christian here, even though Christian is not occupation related. This was based on the previous literature where missionaries were identified as the main group, one of the main groups that volunteered abroad in orphanages. So here are some of the important groups that were identified based on the profile information: Christians, writers, educators, college students, administrators, volunteers, enthusiasts. There were lots of fans and artists. And related to the age and gender, we had a lot of females, married couples, and parents. So these were the demographic, more so, information that we were able to extract based on the profiles. And now we move on the timeline. So we kind of now know who they are, but what are they interested in, right? Because you are able to actually send out messages to people on social media based on their interest, right? Besides orphanage tourism, what are they looking at? Are they talking about cats? Are they talking about books, right? And these were some of the topics that we were able to identify. Christianity, which is evident because we saw that Christians was one of the main groups. We also saw politics. You may see these in topics 2, 4, 7, and 9. So 2 is about more of Africa, politics. 4, US, right? Trump, what was back in 2019. 7, and government, Brexit, Israel, and 9, India, Pakistan, politics here as well. And we also saw a lot of these users sharing about their leisure activities, like watching movies, watching Netflix, traveling, and reading. And these were found in topics 3, 6, and 8. So 3, as you can see, movies, film, Netflix. When you go to 6, you can see the life book, world, read, love, free, and 8, visit the world, and we see a lot of countries listed here. And then there was one account that actually shared a lot of traffic information because of we identified a lot of news media accounts, and that's why we saw traffic information in topic 5. And last, student and community support as topic 10. So with this, well, how do we know that the audiences that we identified through Twitter is valid, right? That's a very valid question. So we actually compared what we found to the previous literature, because the previous literature, mostly qualitative, they would list who they interviewed or who they surveyed and where they were from, the demographics of the people they surveyed. So when we compared our profile information, timeline posts, and the literature, we were able to identify some overlaps. So when you see the bolded and underlined, those are overlapping in all 3 columns. And if you only see the bold, it means they appeared in at least 2 of the columns. So when we start with the bolded and underlined, we see South Africa, the US, the UK, and Christianity as the common factors. When we look at the only bolded ones, adults, so we were able to identify more of detailed, like married couples, parents, through profile information. And from the previous literature, many of the identified volunteers were between 18 and 36. And occupations, teachers, university students were both appeared in our profile information as well as the previous literature. And some countries that appeared were Australia, India, Ireland, Pakistan. Yeah, so we were actually able to see some overlap between the previous literature and our Twitter information, which we were very excited about. So wrapping up with those findings, here are some implications. So this study provided insights into the audiences previously inaccessible by traditional research methods, such as individuals and organizations that praise and promote orphanage tourism on virtual platforms, even though they have huge impact on how people behave, and as we have seen with the surge of social influencers. And the cross-validation with the previous literature implies the validity of this paper's method in identifying the audience subgroups for the anti-orphanage tourism campaigns. And it does provide a more efficient and monetarily and temporally. You don't have to be in a specific location where the orphanage volunteering is happening to collect the information of the actual volunteers. And with this information, the messages and communication channels can be tailored to specific subgroups based on the audiences. Of course, the study suffers from limitations. First, it's focused on Twitter. This audience segments cannot be generalized to be applied to other platforms, considering that we only looked at the Twitter data. And second, we did take only the quantitative approach due to the size of data. Unlike quantitative is difficult to extract why and the background story of the phenomena. So the future studies could take a mixed method approach to identify audience subgroups and ways to deliver the messages for the anti-orphanage tourism campaigns to maximize the impact of the social marketing. And thank you. That's me, and I open up for the questions.
Thank you for the fascinating presentations. Now we are open the floor for questions. You can use the chat box to post your questions as well. Any questions? Professor Koo?
The real curiosity for this senseless question to you, very senseless question, Professor Park. The other days when I invited you to our research seminar, that time, as far as I remember, you are presenting gender and black the traveler, something like that. And today you're presenting again orphanage tourism and something not typical agenda and issue to Korean. So why you choose the kind of very particular issues for your research domain? That's my stupid questions. Sorry.
That is not a stupid question at all. It is very odd, especially me looking into Black travel movement, right? And the orphanage tourism. So my original focus was children. I really wanted to know how tourism was affecting children. And then I went down the rabbit hole and I landed in human trafficking. Because a lot of children in tourism were related to human trafficking issues. Then I really wanted to study human trafficking, and there was an issue of accessing the dark web and possibility of me deported from the US. Was trying to look at more legal issues, and I landed in orphanage tourism. Because I actually witnessed a lot of orphanages in Korea as well, right? Korea is a very different case. We're economically developed, but we still have a lot of orphans and orphanages. I actually did a field study in Korea visiting multiple orphanages. And surprisingly, Korea actually doesn't have many orphans by definition. They have both living parents. They are sent to orphanages due to marital issues, financial issues, and they're raised there because they believe that they're better off in orphanages. And I think let
let me move back to the main computer. Yeah, and I started looking into volunteers. How is volunteering affecting Korea's orphanage tourism? And surprisingly, none. We don't have any international tourists volunteering in orphanages because Korea is very strict in who's accessing orphanages. However, when we look at other developing nations, like Thailand, Ghana, Haiti, we see less restrictions and less political or government regulations relating to orphanages. So that's how I started, and I got fascinated by the issue, and I ended up as a board chair for Travel Unity, who's actually working to make travel welcoming to everyone. And that's the path I am on.
Okay, thank you. My stupid question, you are very smart answer.
Okay, thank you again for your insightful presentation. Let's move on to our next presentation. Emric and Rajan, are you ready? Okay, please take your stage.
Sorry about the technical glitch that happened. The idea of presenting the topic and the flow was like we wanted to introduce you to the culture, to the AI or technology, and then the advantages, and then come over to the disadvantages. But my presentation started with the drawback of using technology, which was the initial glitch that happened. However, in today's presentation, we'll cruise around in seeing or exploring how AI is transforming cultural heritage tours and creating personalized experiences, the innovative techniques which are being used to preserve and restore ancient manuscripts and artifacts, and the role of AI in ensuring the sustainability of cultural heritage sites amidst global challenges. Before we dive in into the presentation mode, I would request you to maybe send a chat or in comments. What do you feel your favorite historical site or artifact is, and the way in which technology can actually enhance your experience with that particular monument or particular artifact. We'll come back to this by the end of the presentation. With a basic line of thought, culture brings people together. We'll scroll down to the slides. In the ever-evolving landscape of technology, artificial intelligence is playing an increasingly crucial role in the management, preservation, and enhancement of cultural heritage. This intersection is offering new opportunities for the restoration of deteriorated manuscripts, personalization of tours, and overall sustainability of cultural heritage sites. This Tuesday, philanthropist and author, Madam Sudha Murthy, highlighted in Rajya Sabha of India the importance of promoting domestic tourism. Madam Murthy also proposed to add 57 more domestic tourist sites to be considered for World Heritage status. Since India already has 42 World Heritage sites, it's crucial to advocate for these 57 sites so that they deserve the recognition. But by the medium of this paper, we would also like to add at the DPR stage or the detailed project report stage, the various aspects that AI can bring into enhancing the experience of the tourists. So eventually what will happen is whenever these 57 sites would come up, they would come up with fully aided AI technology crossing all the drawbacks that may have prevailed till then, and moving a step forward. Now, why do we choose this integration of AI in cultural heritage, tourism and preservation? There's plenty of literature review that has been reviewed, which starts from 1990s and goes on to recent 2024s. And everyone is of the notion that AI is the future. AI is AI. If we talk about AI, there is AR, VR, which will enhance the experiences of majority of the people who are there and can avail or can interact with the monuments, can see the cultural heritage of any place in the world, which basically would remove the geographical barriers that we may have. How do we enhance preservation with AI? That would be the question that comes up. Now, this is through digitization and documentation, 3D scanning models, which are already existing, but are not being used optimally in cultural heritage. Exploring the use of 3D technologies in preserving both tangible and intangible cultural heritage. So far, what we have seen is we were able to see it on our mobiles, on our desktops, computers, which was a 2D version. And recently, 3D images through Google Maps and stuff came in, which has enhanced already plenty of the things. But then there is always an error which may happen, and we need to overcome that. We need to come into more authentic 3D visions with the help of your VR and AR technologies. Automated archiving, organizing data, photographs, and documents related to cultural heritage. So when we talk about digital tools and standardizing tracking procedures, which are essential for shifting from, say, reactive to proactive conservation efforts, predictive analytics for conservation, whatever monuments or artifacts that we possess and we have seen till date as national treasures, international treasures, they need to be synchronized with digital tools, and standardized tracking procedures are essential for shifting. For example, if we have to gauge what is the effect of abrasives, for example, on one of the monument, we need to track the abrasive content in the air, in the water, overall environment, which would make it easier for us to gauge, analyze, and then take proactive measures so that things do not deteriorate before time and the longevity of the monument can be maintained, which would be utilized by our coming generations. So the legacy could be restored, could be preserved. Coming over to the restoration and reconstruction field, AI-driven restoration assists in digital restoration of damaged artifacts. AI is the tool which can flawlessly design within no time. You save your time, you save your energy, your money, and the original designs can come up. Virtual reconstruction. So we can reconstruct the remains of a monument, the remains of things back to its shape, we would all agree that humans are capable of knowing what to do, when to do, and how to do. But 24/7 monitoring is only possible with the AI aids. It's practically impossible for us to otherwise monitor and do repetitive tests and so on to calculate all the things that are damaging the monuments or the artifacts or the cultural heritage, which can be enhanced. Coming over to the next slide, the personalized tours. AI provides excellent personal tours. Well, we would have all seen the movie Titanic, in which the lead actress Rose, when she talks about the Titanic thing, what happens is the remains or the remains of Titanic are instantly covered up with the help of VR, and you are back in time. So the whole idea is that we, when see the remains or ruins, are not that particular color contrast or built-up quality that was there when the monument or the things were built. Reconstructing or virtually reconstructing that with the help of AR would enhance the experience. Just imagine, I mean, we are in 2024 right now. If we enter a monument or a museum or a fort or a palace, suddenly with the help of these gadgets, we are able to see actual king sitting on the throne, actual their morning assembly, which used to happen then, is right in front of you, constructed with VR. What kind of experience are we going to get? So that kind of experience is what we, sorry, we're talking about with the help of AR, VR, and the culture that you see there would be reinstated. It would not be deteriorated. Right now, what happens is when we write a book, we write documented things in various fields. Whosoever is reading, the studies show that just after reading a book or just after the lecture, 60% of the knowledge is retained. After 2 days, it drops down to 40. And 3 days or within a week, you're left with only 10% of the knowledge that you actually had. So this deterioration would not happen, because when we are passing down the line, the same knowledge or the same concept to the another generation, we are passing out it with 60% of efficiency that we have. Coming up with those solutions would enhance the experience of personalized tours and virtual reality, accessibility and inclusivity. One more important aspect that we have in this mind, in our mind, multilingual support. When I go to any country abroad, due to the certain barriers, maybe linguistic barriers, maybe my personal education system, the way I perceive things, the way their accent is, I'm not able to understand completely. So multilingual support would provide you with you don't have any language bar. You can see, feel, understand in your own language across the world. Assistive technologies, audio descriptions, sign languages, which are part of inclusivity. It's not only a boon for able people, but especially able people too. If you are hard of hearing, sign language is there. If you can't see, listen. If you can't come to the monument, the monument comes to you. These would be the salient features with all this reconstruction, with all this preservation of the entire monuments or the culture preservation, the steps which needs to come up. There are certain case studies that we've gone through. Let's see the Acropolis Museum in Greece, which is leveraging cutting-edge technology to enhance visitors' experience. Firstly, augmented reality is being utilized to provide interactive historical context, enriching engagement with exhibits. Secondly, the AI-driven analytics are applied for visitor flow management, optimizing exhibits layouts to improve visitors' flow and overall museum experience. These innovations highlight the museum's commitment to blending technology with cultural preservation. As they say, when in Rome, do what Romans do. All we need to do with this AI is we need to extract the maximum benefit and that AI has to offer in our context. We shall be blending AI and culture in preservation and enhancing the experiences. Let's see a couple of glimpses of the museum. Moving over to the Louvre, France, is at the forefront of integrating advanced technology to enhancing its preservation and accessibility efforts. Louvre, France is utilizing AI for digital documentation and condition monitoring. The museum ensures the meticulous preservation of its priceless artwork. This technology allows for real-time monitoring and detailed records, safeguarding the collection for future generations. Furthermore, the Louvre leverages VR technology to provide global access to its exhibits, not only conserving it to someone who is physically present. So that's what we were talking about when we spoke about the geographical boundaries. Virtual tours enable people worldwide to experience the museum's vast array of treasures. These innovations underscore the Louvre's commitment to both preservation and accessibility. Certain of the Louvre. Coming over to India, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, India. Again, a museum in which to enhance visitors' experience and improve its services, the museum has employed AI chatbots to provide personal tours, offering real-time information and tailored recommendations based on visitors' interest. So that is yet another advantage. If I'm more concerned or more happy with say fabric, the chatbot would take me to the press section of the museum, explain me with all its efforts, all the kind of fabric that was there, the kind of production process that was there, and I would be more interested in that rather than going into a metallurgical department wherein the swords are there and the cannons are lying, which I am not interested much. So you got the advantage wherein you can enhance your experience, and the chatbots can actually personalize your tours and explain more of what you want to understand more.
Sorry, Rajan.
These case studies show information and
Rajan?
communication technologies integrating and
Sorry, Rajan,
Sorry,
since
ma'am?
we have limited time today, I need to stop you right there. Can you finalize your presentation in a minute? Sorry about that.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Basically, when we conclude, uh, it's connect between culture and human, which is before that, I would just take another second on ethical considerations, the potential drawbacks that may come up, visitors, data protection, authenticity, and accessibility. So that is the thing. It's also the connect between culture and human, which reflects to the inner peace. I'd also like to add, South Korea congratulated India on the grand opening of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, while highlighting the ancient ties between the two nations that are deeply rooted in the temple town. Korean embassy in India said, and I quote, "Congratulations on the consideration ceremony of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya." So we can see how this matrimonial knot pulls up the cultural inference. The integration of AI in cultural heritage tours and preservation offers transformative potential, making cultural heritage more accessible, engaging, and well-preserved, keeping it preserved for future generations. As AI and related technologies continue to evolve, their application in cultural heritage will undoubtedly expand, offering new possibilities for preservation, education, and tourism. That's my time. Thank you very much. In case we have any queries, please feel free to contact us on the emails given on this slide. If you have any question, you can come up now.
Thank you for the fascinating presentations. We will take questions from the audience.
Professor Rajan Sharma, thank you very much for your presentation and insightful guidelines. However, I want to hear from you, your location, where your school and city located in India, because it's too large country.
I'm located at the northern part of India. Dalai Lama, if heard of, abode of Dalai Lama is my place of residence. Dharamshala. We also host world's highest cricket ground.
Can you show us briefly the Google Maps of your location?
Sir,
because we are not familiar with your continent, so just to show me, we expand the location contextualization about your country.
Rajan can share email.
Sure, sir, I can do that as well.
Yeah. And we are ready for any kind of academic collaboration as well. We have seats for the PhD. We have special seat for international students in the hospitality, management, as well as other faculties, social sciences.
Yeah, thank you for the engaging discussion.
So I'm trying to.
Thank you. Our final presentation is by Kwon Hee-han and myself, Eun-jung Yang from Kyung-hee University. Kwon Hee will be presenting on unveiling the hidden cost of AI utilization in tourism and hospitality. Kwon Hee, please start your presentation.
Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Kwon Hee-han. I'm a PhD student in tourism sciences at Kyung-hee University. I am very honored to present at this great conference. Also, I'd like to thank Professor Koo for inviting me at this conference. Actually, I intended to discuss the role of tourism in mitigating the local extinction crisis. However, to better align with this Smart Tourism Conference session, the research topic has been changed. So what I'd like to talk about today is unveiling the hidden costs of AI utilization in tourism and hospitality. So what is AI? AI is rapidly advancing area of science and technology. The impact of the industrial and digital revolutions has been substantial, affecting practically all aspects of our society, life, businesses, and employment. While the impact can be both positive and negative, we cannot understate the significance of AI technology's potential impacts on our society and daily lives. What are the benefits of AI and how does it affect our day-to-day lives? AI brings numerous benefits across a diverse array of industries, including healthcare, education, finance, transportation, tourism and hospitality, and more. It has the potential to improve productivity, or boost creativity, and enhance the human experience. However, with great power comes great responsibility. So, what are the hidden costs of AI? Technology companies are continually integrating AI into every aspect of our lives. While businesses focus on the benefits of AI adoption, concerns about its unintended consequences are also growing. One important concern is the rising energy demands of AI as it becomes more widespread. In the near future, AI could consume as much power as a small nation, potentially increasing our reliance on fossil fuels. So there are 7,283 data centers from 140 countries worldwide. The data centers and data transmission networks that support digitalization have contributed to increased energy consumption. When we consider this figure, since 2012, the computational resources needed to train these AI systems have been doubling every 3.4 months. This increase in energy consumption contradicts the stated goals of many organizations aiming to achieve carbon neutrality in the next decade. So the map on the left shows the distribution of global greenhouse gas emissions. Additionally, the bar graph below illustrates greenhouse gas emissions per person adjusted for population. And then, as shown in the graph on the right, electricity accounted for 34% of global greenhouse gas emissions in 2019, marking the largest single source. Then the most relevant applications AI in tourism and hospitality are dynamic pricing, or chatbot for customer service, weather and traffic prediction, or itinerary planning and recommendation, search and booking, translation services, and more. In 2023, the annual average AI utilization rates were 5% in the arts, entertainment, and recreation sector, and 2% in the accommodation and food services sector. These rates are predicted to increase to 6% and 3% respectively in 2024. Now, we need to address this issue. The tourism and hospitality sectors need to confront the inconvenient trust of AI-driven climate change crisis and develop sustainable action plans by nation. So prior studies have predominantly focused on the potential benefits and possibilities of AI to develop the tourism and hospitality sectors, often overlooking the hidden costs and negative effects. The significant power consumption and contribution to the energy crisis and climate change by AI technologies require more attention. Nevertheless, there is a lack of attempt to quantify and predict how the use of AI in tourism and hospitality will impact climate change. Therefore, it's necessary to estimate the current greenhouse gas emissions resulting from AI usage in the tourism and hospitality sectors, as well as across other industries. So to investigate current and future greenhouse gas emissions from AI usage across sectors, as well as in the tourism and hospitality sectors, this study utilized 3 sources. Also, we considered 2 sectors for tourism and hospitality statistics among all sector statistics. One is arts, entertainment, and recreation, and the other one is accommodation and food services. First of all, we calculated current greenhouse gas emissions based on the amount of electricity consumption, greenhouse gas emission factors, and the annual growth rates of electricity demand from AI usage. Second, we calculated annual average AI usage rates in the tourism and hospitality sectors. Since there have been no criteria indicating AI usage growth rates in tourism and hospitality, so we examined the average annual share of AI usage in the tourism and hospitality sectors among total AI usage across all sectors based on 2023 and 2024 AI adoption statistics provided by LEED. Then third, we estimated the future greenhouse gas emissions associated with AI utilization in the tourism and hospitality sectors. So this table represents estimated current and future greenhouse gas emissions. Based on the results, the tourism and hospitality sectors account for about 8% of total emissions from AI across all sectors. Conservatively estimated with the current annual average AI adoption rates in tourism and hospitality compared to the overall AI share, greenhouse gas emissions associated with AI utilization in tourism and hospitality will increase by about 21% in 2030 and 70% in 2040 and 138% in 2050 based on 2024 emissions. These findings indicate that AI implementations in tourism and hospitality significantly affect climate change, and the negative contributions are increasingly accelerating in the future. Let's delve into current and future trends in greenhouse gas emissions. Based on 2024 emissions, greenhouse gas emissions will increase rapidly. This growth has not been observed for a generation, which requires urgent action plans. And in addition, the results support the IEA report and Goldman Sachs data below. Conservatively estimated, the tourism and hospitality sectors are predicted to emit about 8% of the overall greenhouse gas emissions associated with AI annually. And it's uncertain how dramatically this portion will increase. Also, the arts, entertainment, and recreation sector account for 69%, and the accommodation and food services sector account for 31% within tourism and hospitality related AI usage emissions. In tourism and hospitality research, AI-based services have been focused on hotels and restaurants related applications, but in the reality, AI applications have been more actively applied to the arts, entertainment, and recreation sector, generating more emissions. This study focused on AI-driven climate crisis by quantifying temporal greenhouse gas emissions from AI usage in the tourism and hospitality sectors, as well as across all sectors utilizing AI. The findings indicate that the acceleration of AI utilization will further worsen climate change, requiring immediate action plans. Also, AI utilization growth rates should be regularly monitored and converted into the estimated greenhouse gas emissions for each sector and their global shares, ultimately tracking changes in each sector's impact on climate change. So what does this tell us? As I mentioned earlier, AI has both positive and negative aspects. As you can see in the Venn diagram, for sustainable AI-powered innovations, AI-driven crises and risks should be comprehensively addressed and become a key consideration within AI applications and future directions in the sectors. This study provides a foundation for discussions on how to use AI technology sustainably, considering the hidden cost of AI usage that may be overshadowed by immediate convenience and various benefits in the sectors. Also, this study expands the research boundary of AI in the sectors. As suggested in this study, AI-based greenhouse gas emission prediction should be incorporated into existing tourism climate change scenarios within the framework, sustainable framework. In the tourism and hospitality academia, the growth of AI utilization should be monitored regularly, and anticipated greenhouse gas emissions should be predicted accordingly to effectively track changes in the impacts of climate change. And then this study also have practical implications. Researchers and policymakers should consider both indirect and direct greenhouse gas emissions from the tourism and hospitality sectors. The measurement of greenhouse gas emissions can be further accurately measured by considering indirect emissions. For example, emissions from tourism AI services and other data-intensive technologies. In addition to traditionally considered direct emissions, such as flights and hotels and restaurants, then based on accurate measurements of indirect and direct greenhouse gas emissions in each sector, policymakers can create targeted action plans and more detail how each sector addresses climate crisis while benefiting from AI. This is the end of my presentation. Although the study began with good ideas and intentions, it may still have some imperfections. Especially, I couldn't find a theory that was fully linked to this study and incorporated. But I did an experimental study under the concept of sustainability. But I think the significance of my research is that we saw something we hadn't considered before. So I think this research needs to be expanded in connection with various theories. Also, in the future, we will have to utilize more smarts with AI technology. We can't reduce the amount of AI we use, but we will need to find ways to be more power efficient with the same amount So then thank you for your attention about my presentation.
Thank you for your insightful presentations. We will take questions from the audience. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Han. It's very excellent presentation. Thanks. It's a real concern.
Show your location, please. Hey, Mr. We want to see your location where it is. In India. India is huge, right? Please
Yeah.
show your location by Google Maps.
It's in Dharamshala North, 580 kilometers from Delhi, national capital.
Do not explain by your verbal language. Show me your Google Maps.
You want to see in Google Map?
Uh-huh. Meanwhile, I'd like to comment on Han Gwani presentation,
Yes, please.
which is very essential. The topic at this moment, the local extinct crisis, and you combine this phenomenon in Korea and tourism issue, how to integrate together and mitigating that problem. And I think your team and choose the right topic for current the Korean situations. If you utilize well tourism policy, adding to the AI technology together, but I don't know specifically how to stipulate that research model. But anyway, it's a good try. That's
Thank
my
you,
comment.
Professor Koo.
And Professor Jung has other question?
Yeah. Thank you for presentation. It is very important topic. But I'm a little bit wondering about your result, because what is the implication for individual users for real result? Yeah. Should we reduce the use of ChatGPT?
Right. So I already mentioned about my presentation. We cannot reduce use of AI technology tool or platform, but I think we will need to find ways to be more power efficient with the same amounts. Nowadays, beyond tourism, like electricity or computer science industry, they already prepare and prepare and study how to reduce our energy consumption. So very important issue. So when I prepared this research, I'm not sure of the answer to my this very hot and critical event or issues, but we will try to reduce how can we go further more better nearby future. So we will try it.
Yeah, in addition to her answers, instead of simply reducing the use of AI services, we need to consider both the benefits and risks of AI and develop targeted action plans for sustainable AI implementation. By the way, Emric, did you find the map for us?
Yeah, I sent it.
Could you share your screen?
Yeah, it's on. Not screen in the chat.
Yeah, maybe next conference next year. Yeah, we can see the exact map together. Oh, here we go.
Make it bigger. Where is it?
Can you zoom into the map, please?
Zoom out. That's the Himalaya?
Yeah. We are exactly where 17 is mentioned.
Okay, well, good.
Above 503.
Zoom out, please. More.
It's the capital of the His Holiness Dalai Lama, Dharamshala, the exiled Tibet government.
Okay. Very north. To the neighbor Himalayan region. Okay, someday.
We have the Nepal, then Bhutan, then Tibet.
Okay, see.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you again to our speakers for their excellent presentations. I will close the session, but please enjoy the rest of the conference.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.